Hi, I'm John, and I am the founder and CEO of Zelgor Games. Zelgor is building an army of aliens to disrupt the $150 billion global games industry. In 2018, video games eclipsed TV and streaming to become the most profitable sector of major entertainment. As a company, we're starting with mobile games in part because it's the largest and fastest growing sector of the video games industry. Another reason we're starting in mobile is due to the many high-profile success stories. Games like Candy Crush Saga, Clash of Clans, and Pokemon Go have each generated over $1 billion in revenue in their lifetime. At its peak, Pokemon Go brought in as much as 2.5 million in a single day. These games each reached multi-billion-dollar valuations within 2 years of launching just a single game. Our team consists of industry veterans, each with over a decade of experience in their respective fields. They've collectively worked on massively successful games like The Sims, BioShock, Dungeons & Dragons Online, and more. Our CMO started and sold 2 marketing agencies before he turned 30 and has worked with several Fortune 500 companies throughout his career. We're backed by famous venture capitalist Tim Draper, Atari founder Nolan Bushnell, and the creator of Guitar Hero Kai Wong. We're also backed by the founders of Napster and Michael Dornbrook, who oversaw the launch of both Guitar Hero and Rock Band while he was the chief operating officer at Harmonix. These world-class investors all understood that we are a team built to take advantage of the opportunity in mobile games. And that opportunity is that there are still games that came out over 20 years ago on platforms like the Game Boy that are still far superior to most of the games that are available on your phone today. When the iPhone first came out in 2008, I was really excited because I grew up playing games on my Game Boy, and I thought, oh man, this is going to be amazing. It's a cell phone plus a Game Boy in one device. The games are going to be incredible. And the reality is that the games that came out were really simple and really disappointing. It was like flicking a paper ball into a trash can or cutting a rope or slicing fruit. Given that the space is so lucrative yet with still so much room for improvement in the games even today, we view this as a massive opportunity and one that our team is built to capitalize on. Our first set of games are built around our army of aliens called the Noobs. The Noobs are rambunctious space invaders who are extremely intelligent while simultaneously being shockingly dim-witted. We currently have 2 games in development built around the Noobs IP, Noobs in Space and NoobTubes. Our first game, Noobs in Space, is the world's introduction to our race of humorous aliens. Led by their ridiculous leader, Major Noob, the Noobs are perpetually flying around the universe, exploring cool new planets and dodging obstacles along the way. The game is extremely easy to learn, as all the player has to do is tap the screen to change directions. Players collect new noobs, UFOs, outfits, and more along the way. We also have a second game in development, NoobTubes. NoobTubes is the sequel to Noobs in Space and is the story of the Noobs discovering Earth. This game introduces a new piece of noob technology called the NoobTube, which is a fruit-launching backpack that the Noobs use to battle each other for control of Earth. Our NoobTube battles are incredibly spectator-friendly and have significant esports potential. The game is tied to the real-world map as players compete for territories like AT&T Stadium, the Eiffel Tower, and even your own backyard. We plan to monetize these games and the Noobs in a variety of ways. The most important piece of our business model, though, is that these games are free to play. Free to play makes it as easy as possible for anyone to try it out and share it with their friends. Players can spend money on virtual items within each game like noobs, UFOs, costumes, and even more. We'll also be monetizing brands through non-intrusive in-game ads as well as sponsored content. Sponsored content in particular is an underutilized revenue stream in mobile, and it's one that our CMO is an expert in. We'll also be selling merchandise like shirts, hats, and stuffed noob plushies. As the Noobs IP becomes more popular, we'll expand our games to other game platforms and expand into other forms of media like TV and movies. Right now, we're targeting the beginning of the holiday season for a launch of Noobs in Space. This will allow us to generate revenue immediately prior to the end of 2020 and maximizes the game's revenue potential if it takes off right away. From there, we'll be able to steadily increase our user base over the next year. These numbers show you what our revenue could look like in a variety of scenarios, including how much we could make in a year if we hit over at 1 million downloads. Once you get into the territory of 20 million downloads, that's when you start to see the potential of becoming a billion-dollar game. We are an amazingly talented team backed by a group of world-class investors with an IP that's about to take over the universe. If you'd like to join us before it's too late, you can do so by buying shares in our company for as little as 50 cents through our offering page at netcapital.com/company/Zelgor. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you taking the time to present to us. So kicking it off, you finished your presentation talking about your price per share on Netcapital. Can you talk to us a little bit about how much you're raising, how you came up with the valuation, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're currently raising $535,000 on Netcapital at a $4.23 million valuation. That valuation was determined initially by our first investors in the door, and then the additional software costs, the people that we added to the team, resulted in the company's valuation increasing by almost double since the first checks came in. And then actually, since our offering went live, we were able to add even more amazingly talented and experienced people. So the true valuation of the company is probably even higher than what it is on our Netcapital offering, but we've kept it live because it's such a great deal and we really want to make it as easy as possible for a large number of people to invest whatever they feel comfortable with.
Perfect. And an investor question, what is the target age group for the games?
So with all our games, our goal is really to be broadly accessible and family friendly. We're going after a couple of different types of gamers. So we're going after younger gamers, kids in high school and college and even younger who obviously have plenty of free time to play games. We're also going after casual gamers who maybe play games on their commute or once or twice a day. And then we're also going after the more competitive gamers who play games multiple times a day and will play games for weeks, months, if not years.
And can you talk to us a little bit about your progress so far? Kind of what's the status of the game now? How are things going?
Yeah, it's going really well. We have both games in development. You can sign up to be a tester on our website by going to zelgor.com and clicking the sign up button, and you'll get access to both games within minutes. They're both in sort of what I would call the pre-alpha stage as we continue to add the key features that are really going to make the games a lot of fun. And then once we get those in the game, we'll be able to expand our testing community even further and roll out into alpha.
Perfect. And I think we have time for one more question before we get to the end of the hour. Oh, and are there any issues with children running up bills on their parents' account?
That is a constant question that we get asked. And the reality is that for the overwhelming majority of games, there's basically zero supervision on that. So for the majority of games that your kids could be playing that aren't our games, yes, that is absolutely something that could be happening. And it's something that we want to be mindful of. One of the things that we maximize above all else is the long-term value of the player. We think, the best business practice in games is to build a game that people play for as long as humanly possible. And if we have kids playing our game and they're charging up a bunch of money on their kids' credit cards, and then you guys as parents say, hey, you're not allowed to play this game anymore, that's really bad for us. So it's definitely something that we're going to be very mindful of and paying close attention to with our metrics. Because like we said, if people are going to be spending big money on our game, we want to make sure that they're not doing it without the consent of their parents.
Sure. And another question is, have you thought about education as well as fun? So combining education with fun, yeah.
It's something that I have spent a tremendous amount of my time thinking about. And one of the things that I realized is that kids are actually really smart. And so if kids know that you're trying to teach them something, they quickly tune out and they become less interested. So you have to come at it from the approach of delivering them an experience that's genuinely fun on its own, and then weaving different educational experiences within that. So we talked about Noob tubes being built on top of the real world map. So you're battling over territories, right? And all sorts of different places in the world geographically. It's also an opportunity for us to teach the players a little bit about the geography and what's going on in the actual place in the world. So there's a ton of different little sort of subtle ways like that we can weave in education and help people, become smarter in addition to having fun and enjoying their free time.
Perfect. And the last question we have time for today is, can you talk to us about the testers you have? How many people you have signed up and what they're doing?
Yeah, so we've had a few thousand testers come and go over the years through our testing community. And like I said, anyone can currently sign up on our website and just click the sign up button. We're intentionally keeping the group small right now because, again, we still have core features that we have to build out. But there are still slots available. So if you want to test it out or your kids want to test it up, like I said, just go to our website and click the sign up button, and we should get both versions of both games over to you right away.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, John. Thanks for taking the time to both present and help organize this whole event.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so great to meet Ben and Ed and everyone else in person. And Jason and I had an incredible time meeting all of you. And we felt like, yeah, this is, going to be something that we could pull together and hopefully continue to do moving forward.
Perfect. And I appreciate all the attendees today. As I mentioned, there is in the chat, there are links to each company's offering page on Netcapital where you can find more information, including their offering statement and downloading a pitch deck. That's also where you can make an investment if you're interested. We will send a follow-up email to everybody with this recording and some additional information on the companies. And again, if anyone has additional questions, please feel free to post them on the discussion board of the company's page. Ben, Jason, Karine, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Well, this has been a grand event. Let's do it again. When are we going to do it?
Put on the calendar here, Ben, as soon as we can.
We're ready when you are, Ben.
All right, good answer.
And thank you everybody for your engagement. I thought the questions from everybody were fantastic and were the right questions to the right people. So thank you for your participation. And if you have any challenges with navigating Netcapital, if you want to have further conversations with any of the entrepreneurs or the management team, or if you just feel like you need some help, you can email help@netcapital.com and we'll get back to you as soon as possible with an investor relations expert who can help navigate the site with you or answer any questions you have with respect to getting your information in, setting up your account, or making the investment.
Any final thoughts? You're welcome to throw them in the ring. Otherwise, this is a great event. We appreciate everyone being here.
Okay, and thanks, Rob, for hosting. You did a fantastic job.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.